No substance.
So today's top 5 is a top 5 Batman. Now,
I love
obviously,
a Batman.
There's not that many Batmans, but we can rank them, much like we did the Star Wars back in the day, episode 4, I think it was.
Goodness. A New Hope.
A New Hope. We never got because we're still here. So these are the top 5 Batman. Now, we had this conversation that we actually filmed just having the conversation about it, and you were like pissing me off in a way because of one particular, but we'll get into it right now.
What's his name again?
So Terrence, go first.
Okay, so I guess the tat, I'm not gonna go on it too, but it was the tat, the way this kind of started was because I was relating the Batman that had already been cast and we've seen on film in relation to the James Bond characters. And I ranked them as I would rank the James Bond characters and how they're related to James Bond characters. He didn't like how I ranked one of them. So we're gonna start with my number 5. So my number 5, Kevin Conroy. I know it's controversial because I know everybody loves Kevin Conroy, but unfortunately, we didn't really get to see him as Batman. He's the voice of Batman. He is an iconic voice of Batman, and if you grew up watching the old animated series and any of the DC animated films nowadays, I mean, there are other people who do Batman voices, but he is the one that we all associate with being the animated Batman. So that's why I marked him down just a little bit because he wasn't in the suit. I mean, he was just the voice of Batman, so he didn't fulfill the whole thing of Batman. You gotta do the voice and the mannerisms and bang hot models and hang out with old butlers
and Robin's chick
and Robin's chick and, and adopt orphan little boys that somehow nobody thinks that's creepy. But here's my number 5.
Number 5. Number 4.
Adam West, man. Come on.
Adam West.
Top 5. Adam West is in my top. Of course he's in my top 5. Because he was Batman. That was what Batman was campy 1970s.
Pow!
Yeah, pow, bang, zap, whap, bamf. Bamf was a thing before it became a thing nowadays.
Bamf.
No, because it's an acronym.
And it made Shark Repellent famous.
And it made Shark Repellent. Look, that movie was serious and campy at the same time.
The wall walk.
You know what? As a kid watching that, I didn't understand. I didn't know that they were walking down a wall. They were walking on the floor with a rope. I never knew that. I really thought that they was like, man, cool. They just climb walls. This is awesome. That bat and grappling hook thing was just great. Anyway,
I want one, Mom.
And it's like they must have been like pulling their capes and stuff from the back to make them hang
with the fishing string.
Ruining my childhood. All right, hey, number 3. Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck, number 3.
Ben Affleck is number 3. I don't care if you guys want him as number 1. He is my number 3. Only because my number 2 and my number 1 are better. I think he did a great job in the one movie we got to see him as Batman, which is why he cannot be on the top of this list, because we've only seen him as Batman for one movie where he was not the complete star of the movie. He is not the number 1 Batman. Whoever wants to put him in his top 5, you're wrong. He is not the number 1 Batman. He did a great job. Not the number 1 Batman. I can't wait to see him in his own solo film. I can't wait to see him in the Justice League. And the trailer doesn't make up for the fact that he's only in one movie. Number 2. I went back and forth on this one. But my number 2, I just basically had to flip a coin on it. Michael Keaton.
Wow, really?
Michael Keaton's my number 2. I went back and forth with him being my number 1, but I settled on him being my number 2 only because he didn't finish his franchise. He quit after 2, and because he wanted to do other things. I think he
got tired of being overshadowed by the villains.
They had great villains. Tim Burton did a great job in establishing a villain.
Can you imagine what Forever would have been like with Michael Keaton?
It would have been better.
It would have been darker.
It would have been better, and we wouldn't be talking about Val Kilmer, because Val Kilmer is the equivalent of Peter Lansbury?
George Lazenby.
Whatever! No one remembers that dude's name as a James Bond that nobody remembers, because he sucked as James Bond and people try to forget him. Val Kilmer sucked as Batman and people
did not.
Look.
All right, we'll get into it.
He sucked so bad as Batman, nobody remembers him, but we all remember George Clooney.
Because it was the worst one.
No! It was the worst one.
You want to be remembered as the worst one?
His Batman was more memorable than Val Kilmer's.
Because it was horrible. No!
His Batman was more
Danny Ocean!
His Batman was more memorable than Val Kilmer's.
Number 2.
So, because he let Val Kilmer ruin Batman Forever. He let Val Kilmer ruin Batman Forever. That's the reason why he is now number 2. But Batman and Batman Returns, great movies. He is what we didn't want him as Batman at first.
Yeah.
And when we got him, we loved him as Batman. So that's why he's my number 2. All right. Number 1. Come on, man. Bale solidified himself. Nolan did a great job with the movies. Bale was a perfect cast, even though Nolan didn't know how to do fight scenes. But Bale was a perfect cast. It was a perfect cast because Bale had that whole, I'm a pretty boy. I look like I'm a stuck-up rich guy, and I'm part psycho from watching American Psycho. That he had both sides, and that's the whole duality to Batman. He's a rich kid. He's just insane because he goes out at night and beats people up. And there was a whole thing that came out. It was a little YouTube video I had seen, and I forget what it is. The Overthinker, the game Overthinker. He did this whole thing, and he said that if Batman had invested all the money he invested in tech, in suits, in training, and stuff like that, in the infrastructure of Gotham would be crime free.
We talked about it a while back that it takes $800 million to be
Batman. If he used that to help feed the homeless and maybe give people jobs and maybe build up the city, maybe they wouldn't be so crime infested. Maybe it would be Metropolis. Maybe we could talk about the safest place in the whole DC universe is Gotham, because Batman, as his father did before him, invested in the damn city. Bruce Wayne does not.
You bastard!
I would rather go out and just kick the crap out of the homeless and the underprivileged and the needy people who have to steal in order to make ends meet.
How dare you steal because I won't give you money?
I would rather kick the crap out of them for $800 million than to help them get jobs. And I don't know how
this is why you pick Bale.
And this is why
you pick Bale. Just making sure.
But no,
Bale, you whore.
Bale's duality is the reason why he was the perfect Batman and why he will stay solidified as number 1 unless Ben Affleck comes out with some great solo films that will knock him off. So the first thing that Affleck has to do is finish a franchise.
Okay.
There you go, because that's what Bale has over all of them.
Okay, sure. All right, so my number 5 is Val Kilmer! Doc Holliday himself. Val Kilmer was he was a good Batman, he was a great Bruce Wayne.
And a better Doc Holliday.
But he was still, he's more memorable as Doc Holliday than he is on Batman.
He is the James Bond.
He's a John Blaze but I thought he did really good, especially the chemistry that he had with Chris O'Donnell, and you really believed it as far as him
adopting
young Carney, Chinico Carney. And then the whole thing with the jokes were kind of like, you're right, I didn't really like that too much, but that was Schumacher's fault. That's not his fault.
Okay.
I thought that he did a good job. He is my number 5. I don't care what you say. Number 4 is Kevin Conroy, because when you freaking
you think of animated Batman.
But even more than that, when you think of Arkham and the Arkham games, that's Kevin Conroy.
Yes.
And you want to talk about not being able to move. Now, he didn't do motion capture or anything, but when you see him moving, as when you're going through the whole thing, the whole maze, the whole Arkham Asylum and all that in the video game, and you put that with his acting as far as voice work, it's great. He is freaking Batman. That's why I believe it so much. And when he does the Injustice and he does all of the Arkham games, which he's probably going to be doing the Arkham VR coming out in December.
That's you said for life.
He's freaking
all he has to do is just do Batman projects over and over for the rest of his life.
He is freaking Batman. Number 3 is Christian Bale.
I hate you.
The only reason, everything that you said about Christian Bale was absolutely right. The only reason that I did not like Christian Bale was because of his voice, because he could not capture a Batman voice. And 2, he did not do any kind of freaking investigating. No Detective Comics, no nothing.
He did. He did that whole bullet scene where he dug out the bullet and he scanned it.
That's like forensics and shit. I'm talking about freaking actual detective work.
Okay.
Where he goes and
no. Wait, hold on, wait. Pause. No. Wait, hold on, wait. We're gonna talk about that. The only Batman that's done detective work, Adam West.
No.
Adam West. Adam West is the only one. And it's like when he sit there and figure out a note, and he was like, "No, Robin." And it was like when you put this together, and this is what it means. And holy G crap, Batman. He didn't say G crap, but holy whatever pun, Batman. That makes so much sense. And he would figure it out in front of the commissioner. He's the only one to ever do detective work. No other Batman has done detective work.
No, that's not true.
Martha Batman didn't even do detective work.
Martha Batman did do detective work. Yes.
What detective work did he do?
Can you let her ask the question? Yes, babe.
Are you saying that forensics is not a science?
Exactly!
It is a science, but I'm talking about the actual detective. Oh shit, I guess you're right.
Exactly!
But it was
Exactly!
But it's not. He was looking at a freaking bullet and all that. I'm talking about like where he actually goes out and he starts doing detective stuff.
Maybe with a bullet, kind of CSI detective stuff.
Anyway.
That they based the whole show on, multiple series on.
Okay.
With detectives in the show.
Okay. I didn't like his voice. On to number 2.
By the way, many people give him crap about his voice, but everybody changed their voice as Batman. Everybody did.
Can I finish now?
No, your list sucks. Everybody.
Number 2. I'm actually gonna give it to Ben Affleck. And he barely got it. Now, in reality, and all
Over Bell!
in reality, honest truth, Christian Bale would be number 2. The only thing that I like better about Ben Affleck was one, he was a little bit more in the whole detective work, because when he went undercover to do all that whole thing at LexCorp and all that, that's one.
He went undercover for that?
Well, not undercover, but yeah,
It was like I wore my suit.
right. That's what I'm saying. Because it's not okay.
I wore my $10,000 tuxedo and talk crap to Superman.
So there's that.
That's way undercover.
There's that, and then I'm going deep undercover. And then the whole thing with his voice was better.
It was Christian Bale's voice
No, it
through
was
a
not.
computer.
No, it was
It
not.
was Christian
No,
Bale's
it was
voice
not.
through a computer.
No, it was Kevin Conroy's.
It was Kevin Conroy's voice mixed with Bruce Wayne, mixed with Christian Bale's voice through a computer. It was a Batman voice through a computer.
Another thing that I liked about Ben Affleck is that he was at the computer without his cowl, just his suit, and that's Batman. I mean, you see a lot of those
Pulling a Michael Keaton.
Pulling a Michael Keaton. But not to show himself to freaking Selena Kyle. He actually does it like Ben Affleck actually goes in front of the computer. It's just like a comic, like in the comics when Batman takes it off, Bruce Wayne, and he's at the computer without it. Just over here is all his suit and nothing here. That's how Ben Affleck played it. He played it. He did play kind of mopey. That's the only thing I really didn't like about it.
By the way, that computer scene, he was asleep. By the way, he was asleep at the computer.
Look me up, you bastard.
He was asleep at the computer. I was like, I don't know what detective work. Flash.
So there's that. The only thing that is the biggest knock for me is the ears. Obviously, that's the biggest thing for me. I cannot stand the ears.
I can't stand the ears.
But
The rest of the suit was awesome. I can't stand the ears.
But yeah, but it's like really close between Ben Affleck and Christian Bale. In all honest truth, Christian Bale, yes, of course, he did finish the franchise. Yes, he was amazing Bruce Wayne, which we could actually do another top 5 on who played the best Bruce Wayne. And Christian Bale would actually be up there too.
Yeah,
so
he would win.
So he did good. So okay, fine, I'll switch it. Okay, Ben Affleck 3, Bale 2, Michael Keaton 1. All day is my number 1. Michael Keaton.
Why do you put him as number 1?
Because I don't know. Maybe it's just a nostalgia thing. Maybe it's
I know it is a nostalgia.
I grew up to him. I mean, the same thing with Christopher Reeve is the best Superman ever. So to me, I just like the way Michael Keaton proved everybody wrong, because everybody did not want him, and they were like,
no.
And you guys, some of you guys are actually really young to know this, but when back in the day in '89 when they came out, well, so '88, I think that's when they started making it. There was a big backlash on him.
It was horrible because all they can remember was the biggest movie he was in at the time.
Mr. Mom.
Mr. Mom.
Mr.
Yeah.
Mom.
It was like that's like nobody was like this is no. Why
Yeah, exactly.
Batman?
So they had Jack Nicholson as top billing, and they loved that. Which the way they
That's what sold tickets.
was what sold the tickets, was that whole scene. But yeah, but just the way he played him proved everybody wrong. I like that he really didn't mope around about the parents. He just went to go leave a rose. That one scene before the Joker started shooting everybody.
Was that the better alley scene?
Yes.
Versus the Ben Affleck one?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that was a better alley
I think
scene.
so too. So I don't like it that the Joker killed his parents. I don't like that.
Well, they had to figure out a way to
tie it, but that's the only thing I didn't like about that. But overall, when you look at Batman 1 and 2, I mean, he played both parts great.
I just think that he should take a little bit of a hit for not finishing that franchise.
But in all honesty, though, how long could and really, the Batman Forever would have been completely different if Michael Keaton would have played the role for one.
Yes,
but
and it would have been better.
How far would it have gone, though?
I know I would have given.
I mean, like, Batman and Robin would have turned into freaking Quest for Peace.
Batman and Robin kind of did turn into Quest for Peace. By the way, it kind of did. But the only way I can kind of give him a little bit and say that maybe he got out at the right time, because it would have been more shocking after we just established Chris O'Donnell with him as Robin, and then now Chris O'Donnell's talking to a different Batman.
Yeah.
So that would have been a little bit more shocking, even though Chris O'Donnell will talk to a different Batman.
Anyway.
Like, alright, my whole point's thrown out of the way.
Well, that's how I felt about the forensics. All right. Honorable mention, sir. Best suit, best vehicle.
Okay, so we're doing different on the honorable mentions because there's only so many Batman. Okay, so hold up a second. Just real quick, honorable mention, because we're gonna talk about Val Kilmer sucking as Batman. Honorable mention, Seal. Seal should have been Batman. Because from the role, because he did more for that movie than Val Kilmer did. Other honorable mention, Prince. Prince did a whole dang on original soundtrack.
But he did not do more than Michael Keaton.
For a whole movie. I mean, he wanted to be Batman, so that kind of counts. And he actually dressed as Batman in the dang on video for Bat Dance.
Bat Dance, yes he did.
So
no, he didn't. Wasn't he more Joker than
oh yeah, he was more. He was more Joker, but he had all his backup dancers as Batman, so that counts.
That's great.
He counts he counts in the universe. All right. So my best Batsuit and best Batmobile. Best Batsuit I am going to say is Keaton's Batman Returns Batsuit. I think the ears were perfect. It was before the bat nipples. I think they changed up the belt. They went with more of the later style Batman utility belt. Like I said, it wasn't as bulky as some of the bat suits had been, especially when we got to the Schumacher ones, where they were all neon colored and silver and crap like that. It was like it's
more glossy.
Yeah, and the old one, and it still had the yellow, not as bright as the original one. It still had the yellow symbol. So like when they started going into the Schumacher ones, they started doing crazy crap.
Well, some of it, I mean, you can see in the Dark Knight.
Yeah,
they do the same thing.
I know they change it in the comic books. They change up the Batsuit all the time in the comic books. But I think that one was more of what we identify Batman as. Okay. And like with the Nolan ones, when they went to the whole doing the movable head thing, even though we just assume Batman can move his head, but they try to do more of a real world. It's like, okay, you need to do something with a cowl so that way I can move my head. It looked like it was disconnected from the suit, so that's why I really didn't get on board with the Christian Bale one, even though it had better ears than Ben Affleck's. All right, so.
But from Dark Knight Rises, though, I think the Dark Knight Rises suit was better than the one from.
By the time once he went to give me a movable head, I checked out of his Batsuit.
All right, then.
All right,
he's still your number 2. So.
Hey, I'm not because of his Batsuit. My Batmobile. I love his voice. My Batmobile.
Swear to me.
That's the best line of any Batman. That's but why did you say that name? Why did you say Martha? And that wasn't the Batman voice. That wasn't the Christian Bale voice. That's not what that was, because it sounded like it. It absolutely sounded like it.
That's like borderline Grinch.
Exactly. And that's why we do these tests, to make sure.
Are we having a holly jolly Christmas?
We're off topic. All right. So Batmobile, my best Batmobile is I'm gonna go Adam West Batmobile.
Which one?
The Adam West from the Batman TV show, with the big fins and the little siren on top. I think that was great, and with the little frog eye.
Well, that was in your movie vehicle.
Yeah, so of course it was going to be in my best Batmobiles, because it was iconic. I had the stupid toy, not stupid toy, but I had the toy, and you put him and Robin in it, and then you push it, and it was dang near indestructible because I hit many walls with it.
The big black one.
Yeah.
I remember that. I had that too.
That's basically what
I forgot I had that.
what Keaton's Batmobile was based on and redesigned from, with his big fins and stuff like that, was based on the original Adam West one. So I think that one now, if there's collectors of cars, and if you could actually look up people who collect Batmobiles, because it's kind of hard to get a tank, but that's the one that people collect for Batmobiles, is the Adam West one. They don't go look to try to do the Tumbler or the crap ones from Val Kilmer's Batman and the or the Michael Keaton Batman or the George Clooney Batman. They don't do those Batmobiles. Everybody gets the Adam West Batmobile.
All right.
And like I said, it's hard to get a tank.
So
nobody has a
Hey,
tank.
what's the bad thing about Batman Forever is he's all, I'll get drive-through.
Yeah, didn't.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? Get drive-through. Anyway, my honorable mentions besides Alicia Silverstone's nipples is... As far as the Batman, like the Batman suit, for me, when you just the perfect Batman that I've ever seen is the Arkham Batman.
Okay.
The suit, the bulkiness of the suit, the armor, the ears, the cape, everything. Even the symbol up here, his big logo. His big logo.
It's because that's where the armor's strongest.
That's my favorite suit of Batman. Like, no matter what. If you want to talk cinematic, it's more than likely going to be the Christian Bale from Dark Knight Rises. I don't know why I like that suit, but I like that one. But yeah, I think the Arkham Batman is the best one.
No, it's cool. I mean, they get a little bit of a slight because they're just drawing it.
Yeah, but you gotta.
Nobody had to sit there and make that.
But when you see it, though, you can make that, But when you see it, especially when you see it in Arkham games and in Injustice, it's pretty freaking sweet. My car is the Tim Burton Batmobile all day.
That was based on the Adam West Batman.
That was also in my top 5 on movie vehicles. But yeah, that was really that's like my favorite car. But I do like the Bat from the Dark Knight Rises. The ship, the airplane thing, whatever. That thing is pretty sweet, though.
If you want to count like a plane, then I would say the Michael Keaton Batwing.
No, because I didn't like it when he went up to the moon and then came back.
But you like the Taco Bell thing, and that was cool. But mine went up to the sun and did a bat signal, or not sun, went to the moon and did a bat signal. That was awesome. Michael Keaton, you're awesome.
Oh man. So we want to know yours now. Remember. You can disagree with both of us. You can really disagree with him if you want to, especially since he had Batman in his top 5, like number 5 of top superheroes.
Because it's not number 1. Sorry.
But we'd like to hear your ranking. What is your ranking on Batmans? Leave a comment below.
Yeah.
Terrence, take us home.
Well, you already covered the comment thing, so definitely make sure you disagree with this guy.
I'm pretty sure they will.
Putting Ben Affleck number 2. What's wrong with you? But definitely make sure you guys like and subscribe on this video, so that way
I changed it.
So that way we know if you guys are into the shows that we do. We're really big about doing requests. So if you guys have some thoughts about some top 5s that we can do, let us know. If we don't have anything planned, or if this guy hadn't thought of anything until the last minute about what our top 5 is going to be and you get it in early enough, then maybe we'll do it on the next one. So definitely let us know what you guys are thinking.
So, press me in the back. I'm Manny.
Swear to me!
See you next time.
It's the best line of Batman ever.
Do you know what my favorite Batman is?
What?
Scooby-Doo, Batman, and Robin.
Well, that was
Adam West.
That was?
Yes! That's Adam West Batman.
That's my favorite one.
Very nice.